abashed, abashed, adjective, ashamed and embarrassed because of having done something bad. Abbreviate, abbreviate, verb, to make a story or a piece of writing or speech shorter, the abbreviated version of the story. Abdicate, abdicate, verb, to give up being a king or a queen. The queen abdicated and her son became king. Or, to give up something, especially power or a position. For example, to abdicate responsibility, which is to refuse to be responsible for something. Abduct, abduct, verb, to take hold of somebody and take him or her away illegally. He has been abducted by a terrorist group. Abhor, abhor, verb, to hate something very much. All civilized people abhor the use of torture. The noun is abhorrence, abhorrence, and the adjective is abhorrent, abhorrent. Abide by something, to obey a law or something. For example, to do what you have agreed or decide. You must abide by the rules of the game. You must abide by the rules of the game. Abode, abode, noun, the place where you live. They have the right of abode in this country. They have the right of abode in this country, meaning they are officially allowed to live there. They are officially allowed to live there. Abortion, abortion, noun, an operation to end a pregnancy intentionally, causing the baby inside to die. To have an abortion, to have an abortion. Abortion is illegal in that country. Abound, abound, verb, to exist in large numbers. Animals abound in the forest. Abrasive, abrasive, adjective, rough and likely to scratch. Do not use abrasive cleaners on the bat. Do not use abrasive cleaners on the bat. Another meaning for abrasive, it is used about a person. Rude and rather aggressive. A person who is rude and rather aggressive is an abrasive person. Abridge, abridge, to make something, usually a book, shorter by removing parts of it, an abridged version of a novel. The noun is abridgment, abridgment. Abrupt, abrupt, adjective, sudden and unexpected, sudden and unexpected. For example, an abrupt change of plan, an abrupt change of plan. Absent-minded, absent-minded, adjective, often forgetting or not noticing things because you are thinking about something else. Absolute, absolute, adjective, complete or total. The whole trip was an absolute disaster. Absolutely, absolutely, completely or totally. For example, what you're saying is absolutely wrong. What you're saying is absolutely wrong. I absolutely refuse to believe that. I absolutely refuse to believe that. He made absolutely no effort to help me. He made absolutely no effort to help me. Absolve, absolve, verb. Absolve somebody from something is to state formally that somebody is free from guilt or blame. For example, the driver was absolved from any responsibility for the train crash. The driver was absolved from any responsibility for the train crash. Absorb, absorb, verb, to take something into the mind and understand it. I found it impossible to absorb so much information so quickly. Another meaning is to hold somebody's attention completely or interest somebody greatly. For example, history is a subject that absorbs her. History is a subject that absorbs her. Abstain, abstain, verb, to stop yourself from doing something that you enjoy. To stop yourself from doing something that you enjoy. For example, to abstain from eating during daylight hours. To abstain from eating during daylight hours. Abstention, abstention, noun, the act of not voting either for or against something. Abstention, the act of not voting either for or against something. Absurd, absurd, something or someone that should be laughed at, ridiculous, or not seeming sensible. For example, you look absurd in that hat. You look absurd in that hat. Don't be absurd. I can't possibly do all this work in one day. Don't be absurd. I can't possibly do all this work in one day. Abundance, abundance, noun, a very large quantity of something. Acclaim, acclaim, to praise somebody or something greatly. The novel has been acclaimed as modern classic. The film received widespread critical acclaim. The film received widespread critical acclaim. Acclimatize, acclimatize, verb, acclimatize yourself to something. To get used to a new climate or a new situation so that it is not a problem anymore. For example, it took me a long time to get acclimatized to the heat when I went to live in Africa. Accommodate, accommodate, verb, to have enough space for somebody or something, especially a certain number of people. Each apartment can accommodate up to 6 people. Another meaning is to provide somebody with a place to stay, live, or work. During the conference, you will be accommodated in a nearby hotel. The third meaning of accommodate is to do or provide what somebody wants or needs. Should you have any special requirements, our staff will do their best to accommodate you. Accommodation, accommodation, noun, a place for somebody to live or stay. We lived in rented accommodation before buying this house. Accompaniment, accompaniment, noun, something that naturally or pleasantly goes with something else, especially food or drink. For example, chocolates were provided as an accompaniment to the coffee. Accomplish, accomplish, verb, to succeed in doing something requiring effort and or skill to achieve. Very little was accomplished in the meeting. Accomplishment, Accomplishment. Noun. The act of completing something successfully, or something impressive that somebody has achieved, a skill that somebody has. Accost. Accost. Verb. To approach and talk to a stranger in a way that is considered unpleasant or frightening. Accumulate. Accumulate. Verb. To collect a number or quantity of something over a period of time. For example, over the years, I've accumulated hundreds of records. Another meaning is to increase over a period of time. For example, that soon accumulates if you don't clean the house for a week or so. And the noun is accumulation. Accumulation. Accuracy. Accuracy. Noun. The quality of being exact and correct. The opposite is inaccuracy. Inaccuracy. Accurate. Accurate. Adjective. Careful and exact. Without mistakes. An accurate description of the house. An accurate description of the house. That clock isn't very accurate. That clock isn't very accurate. The opposite is inaccurate. Inaccurate. Accusation. Accusation. Noun. A statement that says that somebody has done something wrong. For example, he said that a false accusation had been made against him. Accuse. Accuse. Verb. Accuse somebody of something is to say that somebody has done wrong or broken the law. For example, I accused her of cheating. He was accused of murder and sent for trial. Accustomed. Accustomed to something. Adjective. If you are accustomed to something, you are used to it and it's not strange for you. She's accustomed to traveling a lot in her job. It took a while for my eyes to get accustomed to the dark room. Ache. Ache. Noun. A pain that lasts for a long time. To have toothache, earache, etc. Ache can also be a verb. To feel a continuous pain. For example, his legs ached after playing football for 2 hours. She was aching all over. Achieve. Achieve. Verb. To gain something usually by effort or skill. You've achieved the success you deserve. Or to get something done, to complete. They have achieved a lot in a short time. The noun is achievement, something that is done successfully, especially through hard work or skill. For example, she felt that the book was her greatest achievement. Acknowledge. Verb. To accept or admit that something is true or exists. He acknowledged the fact that he had been wrong. They wouldn't acknowledge defeat. It's acknowledged that he is the country's greatest writer. Acne. Acne. A type of skin disease usually affecting young people that causes a lot of spots on the face and neck. Acquire. Verb. To get or obtain something. Children do not automatically acquire British citizenship if they are born in this country. She acquired an American accent while living in New York. He's acquired a reputation for being difficult to work with. Adamant, adjective, very sure, not willing to change your mind. For example, he was adamant that he had not made a mistake. Adequate, adjective, enough for what you need. The food they eat is barely adequate to keep them alive. Make sure you take an adequate supply for water with you. Adequately is the adverb. The work has been done adequately but not well. The mystery has never been adequately explained. Adjacent, it's an adverb, situated next to or close to something. For example, there was a fire in the adjacent building. She works in the office adjacent to mine. Adjust, verb, to change something slightly, especially because it's not in the right position. For example, there is something wrong with the brakes on the car. They need adjusting. The figures have been adjusted to take account of inflation. Adjust to something, to get used to new conditions or a new situation. For example, she found it hard to adjust to working at night. Admire, verb, to respect or like somebody or something very much, or to look at somebody or something with pleasure. For example, everyone admired the way he dealt with the problem. I've always admired her for being such a wonderful mother. He walked around the house admiring the furniture and decorations. Adjourn, verb, to stop something, a meeting, a trial, etc., for a short period of time and start it again later. For example, this court will adjourn until tomorrow. The meeting was adjourned until the following week. Adjournment. Noun. For example, the lawyers asked for an adjournment. Adolescence. Noun. The period of a person's life between being a child and becoming an adult. It's between the ages of about 13 and 17. Adolescent is a noun, a young person who is not longer a child and not yet an adult. Adorable, adjective, used for expressing affection for a child or animal, very attractive. Adore is the verb, to love and admire somebody or something very much. For example, she adores her husband. Kim adores her older sister. He adores his wife. Or to like something very much. For example, I adore strawberries. I adore chocolate. Adult, a person or animal that is fully grown. This film is suitable for both adults and children. Adultery, noun, sexual relation between a person who is married and somebody who is not that person's wife or husband. Advance, noun, forward movement. The armies advance towards the border. The second meaning of advance is progress in something. For example, advances in computer technology. Another meaning is an amount of money that is paid to somebody before the time when it is usually paid. We can also say in advance of something, meaning before a particular time or event. For example, You should took tickets for the concert well in advance. Advantage over somebody. Something that may help you do better than other people. Her secretarial experience gave her an advantage over the other people applying for the job. Our team had the advantage of playing at our home ground. Another meaning is something that helps you or that will bring you a good result. The advantages and disadvantages of a plan. The traffic is so bad here that there is no advantage in having a car. The opposite of advantage is disadvantage. Take advantage of something to make good or full use of something. Take advantage of the cheap prices while they last. Another meaning is to make an unfair use of somebody or somebody's kindness in order to get what you want. You shouldn't let him take advantage of you like this. Advent, noun, formal, the arrival or coming of somebody or something. This area was very isolated before the advent of the railway. Another meaning of Advent is the period which includes the 4 Sundays before Christmas. Adventure, noun, an experience or event that is very unusual, exciting, or dangerous. For example, she left home to travel hoping for excitement and adventure. An adventure story. Adventurous is the adjective used about a person liking to try new things or have adventures. Adverse. Adjective. Making something difficult for somebody, not favorable. Our flight was canceled because of adverse weather conditions. Adversity, noun, difficulties or problems. You must show strength in the face of adversity. Advertise, verb, to put information in a newspaper, on television, on a poster, etc., in order to persuade people to buy something or apply for a job. For example, the job was advertised in the local newspapers. It's very expensive to advertise on television. Advice. An opinion that you give somebody about what he or she should do or how he or she should behave. For example, she took her doctor's advice and gave up smoking. Affair, noun, an event or situation. The wedding was a very grand affair. The whole affair has been extremely unpleasant. Affect, verb, to influence or cause something or somebody to change in a particular way. For example, her personal problems seem to be affecting her work. Loud music can affect your hearing. Another meaning of the word affect is to cause somebody to feel very sad or angry. For example, the whole community was affected by the terrible tragedy. Affection, noun, a feeling of loving or liking somebody or something. Mark felt great affection for his sister. Affectionate, adjective, showing that you love or like somebody very much. A very affectionate child. Affectionately, adverb. He looked at her affectionately. Affinity, noun, a strong feeling that you like and understand somebody or something, usually because you feel similar to him or her or it in some way. For example, He had always had an affinity for wild and lonely places. Affirm, verb, to say clearly that you hold a particular belief. The people affirm their country's right to independence. Or to say that something is a fact. She affirmed that he would resign. Afflict, verb, to cause somebody or something to suffer pain, sadness, etc. For example, he had been afflicted with a serious illness since childhood. Affliction, noun, a thing that causes suffering. Poor sight and hearing are common afflictions of old age. Affluent, adjective, it's having a lot of money. Aggravate, verb, to make something worse or more serious. The country's food problems were aggravated by the hot, dry summer. Or to make somebody angry or annoyed. He was aggravated by the noise. Aggression, the act of starting a fight or a war without reasonable cause. This is an intolerable act of aggression against my country. Aggression also means angry feelings or behavior that make you want to attack other people. People often react to this kind of situation with fear or aggression. Aggressor is a person or country that attacks somebody or something or start fighting first. Agony, great pain or suffering. She was screaming in agony. Agonize, verb, to worry or think about something for a long time. To agonize over a difficult decision. Agreeable, pleasant or nice. The opposite is disagreeable. She has always been an agreeable person. Aim, something that you intend to do or achieve. Our aim is to open offices in Paris and Rome before the end of the year. His only aim in life is to make money. Aimless is having no purpose. This is a nameless discussion. Aim to do something is to intend to do or achieve something. We aim to live after breakfast. You should always aim for perfection in your work. Aim something at somebody. To direct something at a particular person or group. For example, the advertising campaign is aimed at young people. Air, the mixture of gases that surrounds the earth and that people, animals, and plants breathe. The pure mountain air. The air was polluted by smoke from the factory. An air of something means the impression that somebody gives or the impression you get of a place, event, or something else. For example, this is a confident air. There was a general air of confusion outside the President's palace. In the air means probably going to happen soon. A feeling of change was in the air. Airsick, adjective, feeling sick or vomiting as a result of traveling on a plane. Airy, adjective, having a lot of fresh air, a light and airy room. Alias, noun, a false name, one that is used by a criminal. Alien is also a noun.
It's a person who comes from another country, or a creature that comes from another planet.